Man's Opinion. Today I am reviewing the new one-person Broadway production of The Picture of Dorian Gray, written by Oscar Wilde, in a new adaptation written and directed by Kip Williams, running through June 29th at the Music Box Theater at 239 West 45th Street in New York City. Help project my work by becoming a patron over on my Patreon page, where you can, for as little as $1 a month, support my work here, as well as my classic cinema podcast, Yesterday's Matinee, where patrons always get early access to the latest episode, which is currently the 1981 erotic thriller Body Heat. I am also bringing back quick reviews and maybe a retro review every now and then. Thank you to my current patrons, especially my Neo and Hamilton tier patrons, and welcome to the new ones. Links to my Patreon, Spotify, and Apple Podcast pages will be in the description. Is this the first time Oscar Wilde's acclaimed novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray, has ever graced the Broadway stage? It's hard to believe, but it's apparently true. There is, of course, the classic film adaptation from 1945, and there was a stage adaptation in 1913, but apparently never made it to Broadway. There have also been more, shall I say, loosely adapted versions of the story and characters and other IP. In this version, Kip Williams has tempted fate with me, as historically I've not been a fan of shows that have used video projections as the forefront of focus on stage. I mean, why go to the stage for theater if all you're going to show me is a movie? The most notorious abuser of this form for me, anyway, was the 2020 revival of West Side Story, while the 2017 production of 1984 used the craft of video projection masterfully. If you're going to use a gimmick like video, and it is a gimmick, don't mistake it for anything else, it must serve the plot. If it doesn't, then it's just bloated, useless production material. In this case, Kip Williams had me struggling at first, but as I saw his vision come to fruition, I found this production of The Picture of Dorian Gray daring and innovative. Snook plays all the characters in the story, the titular Dorian Gray, a vain young man who, intentionally or not, makes a Faustian deal to be young forever after seeing a portrait of himself painted by his friend Basil Hallward. It is discovered over time that Dorian has maintained his youthful visage, but the sins of his vanity have made the painting grow more and more grotesque, betraying the angelic nature that he presents. As he attempts to hide his vile visage, tragedy starts to strike those around him, including Sybil Vane, the beautiful young woman enamored with him. Snook is fantastic as she embodies all the various roles, going through quick costume, hair, and makeup changes, all on stage as a team of 5 camera people record her, handing her props like cigarettes and paintbrushes in the process. The timing is impeccable. She and Williams captured the subtle dynamics of the relationships throughout, even tapping the not-so-subtle homoeroticism underlying the text between Dorian and the decadent aristocrat Lord Henry Wotton. There are also just some great beat changes that Snook does, where she is one character and then flipping into another character and flipping right back into the previous character. Initially, technically speaking, yes, the show felt like another gaudy attempt at using video to draw in a lagging theater community, but as the show develops, representations of other characters appear on screen, all played by Snook, and she has to perfectly time her interactions with them. It's an intriguing concept. It's still a one-person show, but some of the material has been pre-recorded so she can act essentially with herself. In addition, there are some anachronistic elements in the storytelling directly, as her character Dorian Gray uses a cell phone to project his image on a screen and then modify it in dramatic fashion for the story to show how the painting looks by using a image filter on his cell phone. It all works. Yes, it's a gimmick, but it doesn't feel forced because it fits the story. How often do we see, or we ourselves in some cases, doctor our selfies to make us look younger, or remove a blemish here, or an age line there? I'm not saying I personally do it, but I know a lot of people who do. Williams takes it to the extreme as he holds the mirror up to our own vanity while Dorian reflects on his own. That being said, The Picture of Dorian Gray does overstay its welcome. It's 2 hours with no intermission, and by the end of it, the frenetic nature of the play was tiring me out, and I was more or less done with it with about 10-15 minutes to go still. I think a little pruning of the more pretentious monologuing in the play could have alleviated some of this as we headed into the climax, which is a great climax. It's just that by the time we got there, I was ready for it to be over, which you don't really want. The Picture of Dorian Gray is an impressive feat, taking a theatrical format I'm generally not a fan of, and making it clearly work for the story. Sarah Snook is great, and the conception of execution of the technical end of things was near flawless. It could have used a bit of trimming though, and could have benefited from finding a way to fit an intermission in to give the audience a break. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see The Picture of Dorian Gray, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. Also in the description will be links to my Patreon, Spotify, and Apple Podcast pages, as well as my social media handles where you can support my work. You can also support me by liking and sharing this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be the Broadway production of Good Night and Good Luck. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.